Knitter. I am an author, placemaker, and city builder. I learned my most important city building lessons from my second grade teacher. You see, I was one of those kids who sat in the back of the class and spoke out of turn. One day, my second grade teacher, an Irish-Canadian man, challenged me to share my ideas with the rest of the class. Now, for most 8-year-olds, this would be a daunting proposition, but I was a feisty inner-city kid, so I seized the spotlight. I don't remember what I said, but I do recall my teacher's response. It was affirming. He said that my ideas were indeed important. That moment sparked the beginning of a lifelong connection. During the summers, my teacher would bring me books to ensure that I kept up with my reading and writing. He would also remind me that the city was bigger than the 4-block radius of my neighborhood. He took me on adventures into the city. We visited the opera, the symphony, and public squares. Despite being a girl, a poor kid, and a person of color, I felt that the city truly belonged to me. I also learned a few fundamental lessons that inform my values and city building practice. I'll share them with you. First, don't empower people, create space and opportunities. When my teacher challenged me to share my ideas with the entire class, he wasn't empowering me or saving me. Like everyone else, I was inherently powerful. My teacher simply created the space for me to express and develop my power. Next, use your privilege for good. When we discuss privilege, people often feel defensive or guilty. These are not useful emotions. We live in a moment when we can easily learn about historical injustices which continue to contribute to social inequities. We all have a measure of privilege. Instead of being overwhelmed, do what my teacher did. Be accountable. Use your time, financial resources, and expertise to create positive change. Next, develop meaningful relationships across difference. Oftentimes, when we think about more inclusive cities, we point to governments or major movements. While policies and systemic change are crucial, each and every one of us needs to commit to getting to know each other better. And I don't mean attending a street festival or trying a new cuisine. Getting to know each other requires time and close proximity. We need to sit with each other in living rooms and kitchens, visit different places of worship, or perhaps go on long urban walks. This will help us to move beyond tolerance to deep appreciation. As with all good relationships, there will be occasional feelings of discomfort and instances of disagreement. As Canadians, we are so polite, so good, so afraid of disagreement that we avoid grappling with difficult issues. My second grade teacher encouraged me and all of my classmates to disagree and risk saying the wrong things. This wasn't always comfortable, but it created the conditions for us to develop authentic relationships and understanding. Finally, enable people to be their full selves. The last time I saw my teacher, we sat in an Irish pub with a lot of memories and admiration between us. We reflected on our story, an unlikely story made possible by living in a Canadian city. He told me that I was the daughter that he thought he would never be permitted to have. In addition to being Irish Canadian, my teacher was a gay man who never was open about his sexual identity. I imagine that when he looked to the back of that classroom, to the little girl who always spoke out of turn, he saw that I too was lodged in a margin that I may not be able to express my full self and potential. It saddens me that he left the planet without openly expressing his full identity. But as his chosen daughter, his legacy, and his light, I ensure that all of the work that I do helps to create cities that are places of safety, prosperity, and opportunities for everyone. I believe that sharing space and power, developing meaningful relationships across difference, and enabling people to be their full selves will help us to create more inclusive cities and a better country, a country we desire.